Hello, welcome to another episode of Awakening with Soulspirational. I'm Tish. This is Rick.
Hi.
So if you've been watching the episodes, you've met Rick before.
Yeah.
So we were just talking. We had just taped another episode, and I think we're going to talk some about the classes and maybe some of the benefits. So some of the classes that I offer here. That whether you're in the area where you'd like to join us, or I know people watch us from out of state where maybe there's a group near you, or what you can find in YouTube. So just talking about different types of tools that you can use for your own spiritual growth and evolution. Or you may be like me. I started off with my healing journey. It wasn't about spirituality for me. What I knew is I was in a whole lot of pain and I was ready for it to end. So even though I still feel the pains of life, it is not at all what it was 20 plus years ago.
And like with me, I was feeling stuff that I didn't understand. It's like, what is going on with me? So naturally, I had to seek out the people that could tell me what was going on. Mm-hmm. Because people that don't understand this, like if I would go to a medical doctor, they would just tell me something that was totally off base, but this is something I knew something was going on with me and it was different. So what I did was I sought out people that could give me answers. And that's what these classes are all about. They're giving you answers of like, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? Why do I see this? Why do I know this? Why do I get these feelings? That's why you seek out.
And not suppressing it.
Yeah.
Because the truth of the matter is all of us are gifted these abilities. But so many of us, or I would even argue the vast majority of us, suppress it, whether it's for our religion or our parents said that we're to suppress certain abilities. And then we get to a point where we want to understand why it is that I see colors, or I see orbs, or I see past loved ones, or, why am I seeing this or hearing different things?
Exactly.
And then we can start opening up to that. And when we do, it's opening up to our true being.
You're being authentic is what it is. And only people that understand what's going on with you are people that are involved in this. And that's why you seek out people who can help you with this. I mean, because all I know is my life has totally changed for the better. I don't feel like I'm burdened or beaten down. Or
I'm going to go off camera for a second, but keep going.
And, the thing of it is, you have these questions. And why should you keep, questioning yourself or your abilities, or people tell you things that, well, that's strange, you're goofy or whatever. It's not. That's not it at all. I mean, there's something going on. There's being a shift in, I don't know. There's just a shift going on. Things are opening up to people that have never been revealed. And why, don't beat yourself up over it. Get some help. Get some real help. Some people that know what you're experiencing, and they can help guide you through it. And you can do that here.
And open up and embrace it.
Yeah.
I went off camera because, what I want to do for this episode is highlight January as a healing month. And here's why. Any time is a great time for healing. But the winter, our days are shorter, even though now we'll start gaining daylight, which is great. But when it's cold, when our days are shorter, we tend to spend more time inside, which means we have more time to think. We do have more time to read the books that we want to. It's a wonderful time for healing. It's like, to me, it affords us more time. Whereas in the summer, the weather is beautiful. We may want to be outside more, gardening, doing this or that. Mm-hmm. And right now with the holidays, everybody is so busy and you're trying to run from this place to the next one where we're just kind of stressing out. So I'm just, January is a healing month. Per usual, but it's a healing month here at the studio. And I have added more classes this month than I normally have on the schedule. And I just want to point some of these out. So at the end of the month, next week, so actually technically before January the 30th, December 30th, I'm doing what I call a soul cleanse.
Mm-hmm.
To what I call get the yuck out. And it's just a way of processing some of that mundane energy. Maybe I got into an argument with, I don't know, Suzanne back in February, and I want to release that because my soul's still kind of holding on to it.
Mm-hmm.
We have a night of peace coming up tomorrow night, a meditation. Just some time to go within, to relax before we get into the hustle and bustle of the next few days. But I also have things like a worthiness workshop, which I haven't given before. That's going to be new on the schedule. To start tapping into our own worth.
Mm-hmm.
And why is it that, even if we don't necessarily answer the question, but we allow other people to dictate our worth. So that's on there. The resentment release, which you've done a couple of times now.
Mm-hmm.
Because when something triggers us, we may think that it's this particular person in our path, but when we go a little deeper, we find out it's the root cause is really here. And then we can go there and start looking at that. Let me see. The I Love You meditation, some of you may be aware of this one here. I also do some things with tarot. And I know that tarot and oracle readings, for some people with their religion, they just immediately, and I get that. I completely understand that if a person isn't comfortable.
Yeah.
However, my experience has been that something is negative if we give it the intention and negativity. But if we give it the attention and the intention of positivity, then we can pull an oracle. And if you guys have been watching the episodes, I'm gonna kind of get out of camera here a second. We can make it as wonderful or not as we choose to. And sometimes they're just beautiful cards like this grace deck. And I've already done a couple. Oh, that's really pretty. So I've done a couple episodes already where I'm just picking from the deck. And this one says receive. When we open ourselves up to others, we open ourselves up to the abundance of the universe.
Yeah.
And then even with tarot, there's this level of, I'm going to call it darkness or heaviness to it. I think because people see things, even the Hanged Man, that sounds so frightening. Mm-hmm. But really, if you look at the card, the figure on the card is hanging by an ankle. He's upside down. He's just getting a new divine perspective, is one way of interpreting that card. And the bottom line is, in life, we have less fortunate things happen to us.
Sure.
So tarot can just give us some insight, maybe how to navigate those waters. Mm-hmm. Here's where I struggle, is how it'll be viewed as fortune telling. So when I hear that, it's first of all, I don't know that I'm telling somebody's fortune. When people come in to me for a reading, to me it's about, and I set the intention ahead of time of how can this reading help. In this case, maybe Rick comes in for a reading. So depending on what the question is too, how can this reading help you to open yourself up, or how can you heal by the cards that present themselves? And we're working in tandem because it's Rick's energy that I'm tapping into. It's the reading's about him, right? Yeah. So but I'm using my intuitive abilities to approach the cards in a way that will be beneficial to Rick. And I hope you don't mind that I just keep touching you.
That's
okay. You're close enough, I'm going to keep touching you.
That's fine.
So that I can interpret through my filter and intuitively how I can interpret that card to help Rick on his particular journey. To me, it isn't about, oh my gosh, you're going to win the flipping lottery next week. Woohoo! No, how can I go about achieving that different career? Somebody wants to change careers, or
this is more about life.
Get healthy. Yes,
it's about life. It's not about fortune. It's about life.
But societally and within the context of religion, even where it's this demonic or devilish kind of thing, when really what we're doing is tapping in, especially when we're doing tarot for self. We're taking the time to go within. Okay, Because here's the thing, depending on what card you flip over, bottom line is you're going to interpret it through your own filter anyway. So if you're in a foul mood and you're going to do your own tarot cards, you're probably going to get a somewhat foul reading because that's how you're interpreting everything. But when we can get ourselves within a neutral state, we're into a loving state, and then pull our cards for, how do I get healthier so I can find a healthier mate? How do I, what should I take in order to achieve that new career field? Then we're going to interpret it through that lens of love. Am I making sense?
Yeah. And not only that, what it really is
And shine.
it just helps you and what's really cool about that, what tarot, is when they're sitting on the other side of the table from you agreeing, saying, yes, how'd you know that? How'd you know? Because Spirit has a way of bringing it out in the cards. There's nothing spooky about this. It's eye-opening.
Like any field, you're going to have bad apples.
Sure.
But when you find a reader who's doing it ethically and through the state of love, and I mean that in the people that I know, the people that I work with, it isn't about the dollar amount, it isn't about the bottom line. So many of us have experienced pain, and when we're able to alleviate that, it's in no small measure, even if it feels like, oh, that was just a little release, we want to share that with others. Most of us don't want to be like, oh, I know how to help people, but I'm not going to share. We want to help people.
And there's nothing more gratifying than when they walk out from a reading that you've helped them. That's our end of it. That's where we're getting the reward. Yeah, there's a little bit of monetary thing to it, but you know what? You don't go at it with that approach. It's like, wow, I helped somebody.
And that's what I want to go to too, because you had mentioned something earlier. When we're in the state of grace, to help others, to reach out, even though we may be in a hard time for ourselves in the moment, but somebody reaches out to you, it just feels good to help. It does. It feels good to give. And I'm reminded, somebody recently, was talking to me about AA, and that when somebody is feeling some unpleasant thoughts, they're redirected to go help somebody. How beautiful to pick oneself up, but through through grace.
And you have to understand too, when you have somebody reading for you, if they're doing it ethically, Spirit is working through them, through the person. It's really not us. It's not about us. Mm-mm. It's about you. It's about them. It's not about us at all. And
you know what I think makes what makes I don't know if I want to use the term better, maybe a more effective or a more connected reading, so to speak, is when you go to see somebody and their focus, it's about you. I know for every client, whether it's Reiki, chakra, tarot, you name it, when they come in, I may share some of my stuff so they know that they're not alone. But really, it's all about them. I'm looking at them. I'm looking in their eyes. So I'm seeing them. I'm hearing them. I take in and I process and I repeat it back so they know that they've been heard and we're on the same page. If somebody doesn't want to, maybe they're not ready to go to their place within session, then we pull back. It's about them, and when we put our focus and intention through this grace and through love, that's where I think we affect more change or more adjustment. Some people don't like change because we still are who we are, only adjusted.
And that's true, and all these classes that are offered here is about showing you how to be a better individual for your clients.
Self-empowerment.
Self-empowerment. It helps you how to understand this, how to control this. I would say understanding more than anything. I mean, you don't really control anything because it's really, in my view, out of your hands anyhow. You're the
Well,
catalyst.
we have some control. It depends, I guess, on what you're talking about. I'm thinking about psychic development.
Yeah.
Of putting some parameters on things.
That's true, yes.
That we may not be ready to go certain places with. And you know, we wrote a few things up on the board. Some tools, and there are so many more than this. But meditation, Reiki, chakra work, third eye meditation. Again, chakra is how I began. I started my journey from this place of, you know, what are these things? Chakras. I cannot believe how incredibly eye-opening they are. This, to me, was just like, what is this world of, huh? And when I researched and I started I'm doing my own work, I'm doing the dark recesses of the soul, and I was just like, oh my gosh, yes, it was so true. And leading me into Reiki. Meditation, though, I wanted to kind of, and I have third eye meditation, but even when we're talking about meditation, there's often, for somebody who isn't meditating, you know, we may be thinking, oh, we're just sitting in silence. Mm-hmm. And then so many of us who have tried that, and it's like, but my mind won't stop jumping around. All this stuff is going on, and I just can't be still. So I suggest for people to have pen and paper nearby, because then you can just like open up an eye and write down, okay, I'll remember to switch laundry, whatever it is. But under that same category,
it's categorically.
So we talk about guided meditations, which technically are visualizations. And when we go into that form of visualization where we're going within, and so whether it's we do spirit circles where we are going to places of tragedy to tap into and to help the spirits in that particular space. Sometimes we'll go into a third eye meditation, and it's funny, the people that they see so well but they think they're blocked, and oftentimes it's because somebody else told them, oh, your third eye is blocked. Well, maybe that person who told them just isn't picking it up, or they have whatever through their own filter. But working with people, it's like, no, your third eye is open. You're able to see things. You're able to process things. When we go into these, the I love you visualization, that's talking about self-love, bringing that energy. In all of this, again, at the crux is self-empowerment. Yeah. In fact, I have a class coming up, I Reclaim My Power. Not realizing how much of our power we have given away or other people took from us, and we didn't know better.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these classes bring your power back to you. It's all about empowerment. It's all about, and as far as the chakra work,
in that healthy, loving way.
The chakras control so much in your body. If you learn how to work with your chakras, you can do a lot of self-healing. I mean, each major area of your body, major organs, are controlled by a chakra. And once you understand that, and once you learn how to work with them, and how to feel into the front side of it, the back side of it, like Tish says, I don't know how you can do Reiki without doing chakra work. It's almost impossible. I mean, you can feel the energy around the body and stuff, but once you understand how the chakras work, it's a whole different ballgame, folks. It really is.
Because, it just opens up so much information.
Yep.
One of my favorites is going into the solar plexus chakra. So this is a place where we use the sayings like, oh, I felt like I was kicked in the gut, or I had butterflies. So it's that same general region. But it's the power center. And so many times, so many of us feel so disempowered because life. And when we can start, so it's the warrior self. You know, we can go into the solar plexus and close our eyes and imagine seeing the warrior in your mind's eye. Yep. And you see him or her standing there, feet butt, shoulder width apart, spine straight, shoulders back, chin up, eyes forward, knees are bent. Warrior needs to be flexible. And some people share their imagery where maybe they have a sword like Archangel Michael. You know, maybe they have a bow and arrow with them. Everybody sees things their own way and through their own filter. But then when we have the negative thoughts that come to mind of, I'm not good enough. It's like, if you project your warrior self in your mind's eye where you can see her or him, and then you tell it you're not good enough, look and see what your warrior self does.
Mm-hmm.
Because I bet you that your internal warrior self is not going to be like, oh, that hit me and that hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to bat it away. But because we don't think in these terms.
We're not taught to.
We're not taught to. When we can open up spiritually and say, oh my goodness, or just open up our imagination so we can start seeing things. That, no, my warrior self is not accepting this.
Mm-hmm.
The way in which I consciously have been accepting it, or even really subconsciously or unconsciously for many, many years before the awakening. And then it's like, oh my gosh, I don't have to... I can bat that away consciously now.
Mm-hmm.
I can tap into the warrior within me from that state at the center of my being, my solar plexus.
Which makes you more confident, which makes you a better all-around person for you, not for everybody else, for you. This is what this is basically all about. These classes are to make you more whole. They're here to make you better. Not better than the next person, the next guy, the next girl. It's making you. This is your journey. It's about you. It's not about everybody else. And that's why, I mean, I'll always be a staunch supporter of Soulspirational, because, I mean, my body and my soul and everything is just turned around 360 degrees.
And again, see, this is where it's... whether or not you come to Soulspirational Wellness, I would love to have you here. But for me, the core of that is go out there and find a way to self-master, to reclaim your power. I mean, thank you so much.
I'm her poster child, okay? I mean, it's just like, all I can tell you is what I've experienced. You cannot unexperience what you've experienced.
No. And, something you just said, like, kind of triggered me. No. Before talking about coming in here. So hopefully it'll come back around before we end the video, but...
I'm trying to remember what I said.
Yeah, what were you just saying?
Oh, I don't know. I was just saying how it's about you. It's all about you. It's making you a better person. Not about anybody else being a better person.
Yes.
Okay.
So, when we are standing strong and confident in who we are, and you have a better understanding that hurt people, and it's just a progression. It's a process of getting to these different places. And when we are in a state of love, when we have reclaimed our power, and I still haven't reclaimed all of mine, but I've come a long way. And so we're standing in that space, and in that state of love, we neither look up to nor down at anybody else, because we recognize that we're all the same. We're on different parts of our journey, and we're here to help each other at different stages. Those people tend to come in at the right time to help us grow and to evolve, or for the universe to test us like, oh good, you did respond differently this time. You have made an adjustment, that we can say for ourselves. And it's beautiful. Sometimes we feel as though others are, and I get this way, I still every once in a while, when my energy isn't up, a tinge of this energy may pop through of feeling that I'm being judged as being less than somebody else. And it's then I coming back out of it, and it's like, no, I refuse to look up to somebody. Just like I refuse to look down upon somebody, unless I'm reaching out a hand to help them up.
Yes.
Because I do believe that God gave us all the same divine light. It's not like when we were born, that we're an infant, either still in the womb or think about being in the bassinet, where God just whispers down, you suck.
That ain't gonna happen.
No. So if you believe in a higher power in God, that the same amount of love, the same amount of light is coursing through us, it's these human experiences, and it's getting back to that state of love and recognizing that I know I don't look like everybody else. That used to really bother me. Every once in a while it still does, but for the most part it's like, it's my uniqueness.
I've come to understand so much more about God and Jesus and the angels and everything, and just understanding that no, God is not mean and cruel. God is about the love like you can't even comprehend. Our human minds cannot comprehend that kind of love. That's probably why we're here, to learn things and to grow. And trust me, I came in here, when I first came into this, I was so spiritually low. I mean, I knew something was going on. That's why I said earlier I had to find out why this was happening. But man, I've done the 360. I've done the work, but like I was telling somebody earlier yesterday, the work is well worth it. I mean, do yourself a favor. Do the work. Find somebody to help you. Come here to help you. Do it for yourself. Don't do it for me or anybody else. Do it for yourself, because bottom line, it's all about you. It's not about...
Because you deserve it. You're worthy.
Yes.
And deserve, it's like, well, what did I do to deserve this? You know what? It's that time that you held open the door at the post office for that stranger. Mm-hmm. It's the time that you picked up somebody's books when they fell out of their arms. It's the time that you reached back and helped somebody get through something. You deserve, because you are. You are that of God, this higher source. We're all connected.
Yep.
And, you know, when, how do I put this? When we go through when we experience a very troubled, hard lifetime, it's easy to not feel good enough, or that I don't deserve to have X in my life. But boy, I would say even more so, because you get up every day and you go back at it again. Every day you find the strength, you muster the strength to carry on. So who else deserves
And guess what,
this
folks?
love and this grace?
This is for everybody.
You deserve it.
It's not just certain few. Like, oh, you got these gifts. No, so do you. Everybody does. It's for all of us.
We all get to tap in if we choose
Yes,
to.
we do.
Um,
So make that choice. Make that decision. Do it for yourself.
And it's Healing January, but every day, every month is an opportunity for growth, healing, and evolution. With that, we're coming to the end. So thank you again for everybody who watches this, who may share it with others. Just know that you aren't alone. There are many of us out here growing and evolving, and we would love to have you join us.
You bet.
So if you have any questions, you can email me, reach out to me, go to my website. Otherwise, until next time, thank you. Be well.
Namaste.
Namaste.